Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this morning. Hope you were wrapped up and not getting too cold. Let's take a look at our weather brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard and his hard-working crew, taking care of everyday comfort needs. High today, 67. Low tonight, 41. I know you've been watching news and weather and aware of it, but what's funny to me is the water temperature at the end of the period is going up to 78 degrees. Remember, it dropped down about a week ago down to 75, 76. Now it's back up to 78. The water temperature is going to be warmer today than the air temperature here on the Gulf Coast, which doesn't happen a whole lot. We're looking at the river readings brought to us by Mountain Dew. This is interesting too. Now, Apalachicola Blountstown is low, but it's still got a 3.3 to it. But folks, take a look at the Choctawhatchee at Kerrville. Our reading this morning is a 0.7. Looking at the chart, it looks like it's going underground. 0.7 at the Choctawhatchee River at Kerrville. That's as low as I can remember. I know it's been probably lower over the years, but 0.7 is extremely low. So be very careful if you're planning any kind of weekend river things on the Choctawhatchee, especially the upper end up there. Okay. Now, wind today is going to be coming from the north about 13. Let's take a look at our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. High today is this morning at right now at 2:59 and low after lunch at about 3:11. I want to mention this while I have it written out over here. The YouTube videos, Jeff puts on every morning, and when we always have a good folks across the country watch it. We don't have a huge number watching it, probably average 150 a morning, but the one with Maddox at a pumpkin patch up there south of Tupelo with Wendy Student Maddox, if you remember, it's had well over 300 something views, which is heartwarming to me because it shows how much it's doing something good like that is appreciated throughout the outdoor world. And I've had folks at church come tell me how much they enjoyed watching that young man doing the deeds he was doing with those pumpkins. So good stuff there. I want to share it with you. Take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look. First of all, I want to remind you, low tonight, 41 degrees. You might want to shut the windows. Okay, we recently had that tournament up there at the Bristol Boat Ramp. Here it is right here, the first annual Legends Flathead Tournament. If you didn't get to fish it, you're not a legend, but I really appreciate, let me say this, I'm going to show you some pictures all, but before, they sent me a good email and with the pictures and all, and Ken and Lori Keel put this on. First of all, to put on a fishing tournament is an enormous amount of work. And sometimes you get some help, and sometimes you don't get a lot of help. But even so, I have an extreme admiration for folks that put on these fishing tournaments because it's a lot of work, and it all goes to a good cause usually. And I just wanted to basically, she said, "Good morning, Winston." They had 41 boats, and for a first year tournament, 41 boats is really good. This is a flathead catfish tournament, had 19 boats weighed in 773 pounds of fish. And I'm gonna go through all the winners and all. The total amount of money that they gave out was $10,000 at the Bristol Boat Ramp. So that's Ken and Lori Keel. And I really appreciate them doing that. And I'm gonna go through the pictures now and try to keep them identified as who won what now, because I'm doing it, I'm actually multitasking. All right, first place right here. All right, here we go. We can see, we know his first place because look at the plaque right there, okay? And that's going to be Brandon and Ronald Ernest. They had 77 pounds. Okay, next picture, second place. That's going to be Guy Nichols, junior and senior, 65 pounds, so that's pretty close. Okay, third place right here is Chris and Dragon Vinson, 62.5 pounds. Okay. Fourth place, Chris and Eugene Ernest at 58.5 pounds. Fifth place, Cody and Canner Ernest. The Ernest family did well, 56 pounds. Good job. And then up here, this is the biggest flathead, and Brandon Ernest got a 40 pound. That's a big flathead catfish. Okay, now the biggest blue cat was Marvin Rushing at 39 pounds. Now that's only a pound smaller than, I mean, that is a huge blue cat right there, folks. Okay, right now the biggest biggest women's fish, let me see, biggest kid fish right here is going to be Braylon Bailey, 14.5 pounds. And then right here, the biggest veteran fish, Guy Nichols, 32 pounds. And let's see, here's the ladies right here. The biggest women's fish, Tammy Williams, 27 pounds. So here's some pictures of them, folks. that's some nice catfish right there. Good job. I really appreciate y'all putting that on for the tournament. All. That's the first annual, so this is a good time of year to have it. Later, about in October, after it cools down a little bit, and those catfish, what it is now, they've been feeding all summer long, and they're really chunky, as the old timers would say. And good job there, the Keel family and the Ernest family. Congratulations. All right, let's move on now. Got some good information from the FWC. Well, I've heard it 2 or 3 different places, but it's official now. They have hired a new public information officer, and that public information officer will be coming on the show like the old days, way back when we had Stan Kirkland, and be coming on once a month. We'll get a schedule set up and sharing all the FWC news, and we'll be doing the case of the month kind of stuff, but mainly just informing everybody what's going on, because it's constant. And guess who it's going to be? A familiar face. How about Travis Bassford? He's going to be the new PIO, and he's already training. In fact, he wants to come on. He's not cleared by Tallahassee yet. True, because he has to do some more training. I mean, I thought he did a great job, just he and I talking. But I understand you have to jump through hoops, and I understand how government works, and I don't have a problem with it. It just takes sometimes longer than you want it to, but he's got to get some more training so he'll officially know what to say and what not to say. But we're looking forward to getting Travis back on air and sharing some good stuff with us. Let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We talked about hiking a little bit this fall. I always think about, love to walk in the woods in October, and I've been bringing up to Real State Park, and I haven't talked to anybody that's been since the hurricane really, and see how much the trees have blown over by. I was able to look it up, and I got into this last night. I just wanted to share some of this stuff with you to Real State Park, and I want to just show you basically just some of the magnolias and all, and the Rock Creek Loop and everything. Okay, here the red lines. Okay, see the Apalachicola River. All these red lines. This is the Real State Park here. This is different trails. You can go inland. You go along the river. They cut through and different things like that. So, and here it is, the boundary of the park. Or that's a trail, and how you get in there to it. It's part of the Florida Trail also. And just going down, and the Florida Trail is just cool in itself. So I just wanted to, but I want to go back up here where it says Terrell State Park. The Camel Lake area too is good. So I'm going to go to Terrell State Park, and that's in Northwest Florida. But this is the Rock Creek. I want to just see if we can run this a minute. I don't know. I was able to do it last night. It may not. That's Rock Creek directions. Rock Creek Loop. Here it is right here. I don't know if I think it'll blow up. Okay. But yeah, it's about 2 minutes. I just want to see if I can talk our way through it, if it'll work here. It worked last night good, didn't it? All right, here we go. Okay. Skip ads. Okay. We got Jeff can skip. All right, here we go. Here we go, the Rock Creek Loop. Technology. It's on State Road 12 as you're going north of Bristol. But I was looking at it last night. You can see where the damage has been done, but it's still a good trail, folks. It's beautiful walking in there. Even now, even though you see the trees falling, you're gonna see a lot of this. The bridges, you see where they cut the trees off to make room to get back into the trails. I've been on it several, I don't know, since I was a young person, I like that trail. And I haven't been lately. The native azalea, wild honeysuckle right there, is that not beautiful? A little close in here, I love that. It gets some red bugs on you. And you can see the mushrooms and the creeks going through it. This has a lot of history behind it. And again, where they cut the trees to get through the trail, but that was 4 years ago, so it's growing back. And check it out. There's Bobby the box turtle. There's wild palmettos, we got those all over the place. And good exercise. And a little place to make a little campfire. If you want to log in and stuff, some just a beautiful wildflowers, especially this time of year, late fall. Now that looks a little rickety right there. And there's a river, there's the Apalachicola River. Is that not beautiful? They got that brush piled over there to the left. There's the big house, top of the hill, that's the Gregory house. And walk back through the trail. He got a couple of boards left out there. And watch out for gators. Isn't that pretty? It takes nature a while to build back, to grow back is a better word. Grow back, not build. We build back, nature grows back. It's a great exercise. I want to say this loop might be 5.2 miles. There's 3 or 4 loops in there. Jeff, you been on that one? Is that one you've been on?
Not this one.
Okay. And there'll be some natural burns. Jeff's been up there a couple of times hiking. And all right. Anyway, that's Florida Hikes. You can go online and find that out. It's really a neat place right here in our backyard. When we were hiking the Appalachian Trail through the 90s, I did it 4 or 5, maybe 7 or 8 years, maybe in a row. And we first started getting in shape by hiking to Real State Park with our stick and all. We had a lot of good times and all. Okay, we were. Let me find this. Talking about different places to go eat and everything. I told you about going to Paramore's too, and let me see. There's a place. Okay. Here. The St. Joe Shrimp Company, right here on Cape San Blas, you have the trading post. That's where, on Cape San Blas, about halfway, about middle of the Cape right there, you have a trading post, which is just an all-purpose grocery store, gas station, and right next door we have donuts, and right beyond that was a fish market, and they were selling so much fish. The St. Joe Shrimp Company, that's the local folks, Mark and his family, and they started cooking some of the seafood there, and Gail and I, we just love going there, and it's not a big fancy restaurant. You walk in, you order it. Bobby Colville is there. Bobby watches the show, and it's fresh fish. And I always get, I love how much I love grouper and all. But here, looking on the wall, there's a little picture I got. Gail and I were down over the weekend and checked it out. These are all the places for people, where you poke, where you come from. This is for the St. Joe Shrimp Company. They come down to Cape San Blas. You think the secret is out about there, but here I'm going to show you sort of where it is. Okay, here's Pig Island. Okay, right here in the center. Okay, I know it's hard to see, but right on the Cape. And then this building. Okay, right here in the center, that long building right there is a trading post, and then right north of the trading post, right there in the center, that's the St. Joe Shrimp Company. And they serve lunch, I think, from 11 to 4. And folks, that's just good, fresh seafood. And I appreciate having a place, and it's not all that expensive really compared to some of that $29.95 grouper I got here in St. Andrews the other day. But it's really good, and I call myself a grouper expert because somehow I'll get a grouper about anywhere I go, and this is good fresh grouper. So I just recommend that to you. There were a couple of other places. Paramore's 2. If you want catfish, remember Paramore's 2 up there in Bluntstown. There's 3 places that we just love. Paramore's 2 for the catfish up there in Bluntstown I talked about. And what was that, $12 for a whole big meal like that? And might have been $10.95, but real. And then Blue Parrot at St. George Island, right there, as you come in off the bridge to St. George Island, just keep going straight, and you got the Blue Parrot. Johanna's family, George and all his family, again, that's fresh fish coming off the boats in Apalachicola So you got fresh catfish coming from the ponds there in North Florida. Then you got fresh stuff here at the Cape coming in. Then you got Apalachicola fresh seafood. So those are three of our favorite places if we're in a neighborhood to go, because we just really enjoy it. Sometimes get fish tacos, and Gail loves all kind of fresh seafood. So I just want to pass that on to you this morning, okay? In case you're planning to take a little trip this weekend to that area. It's good fresh seafood. Take a break and be right back. Okay, let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. This morning's time, 6:25 to 8:25, and this afternoon late from 6:49 to 8:49. It's going to be a little cool that time of evening. I'm going to show this here. I know you saw recently, about 2 weeks ago now, where the tournament, the walleye tournament, these two guys were caught putting lead into the walleye, and it was I was going to tell you, when I first read about it, I took down some notes. I was going to share it with you, but all of a sudden it made national news. All the news outlets had that big cheating scandal on the walleye tournament, and I wasn't going to say anything about it, but I want to go and share a couple things because I read more details about it. They were these two guys. I mean, they've been arrested. Their boat's been. They were charged with I forget what the charge was, but their boat was confiscated. But anyway, here's what happened. Here's two guys right here. They had the walleyes, and okay, and what they were doing. This is what they brought out. Is that unbelievable? Okay, now listen. The news outlets didn't say much about it, but see the meat. See those fillets right there. Here's what the metal detector. I think they might have got it. You know, I don't know when they started doing metal detectors, but the metal detector was able to pick up the lead. But I guess in years past, those little pieces of fillet, what they do, they stuff the fillet down there. Because when you talk about a couple of ounces, and you look at these redfish tournaments, a lot of times 1 or 2 ounces makes a difference between first and second. It could be 20,000 or 10,000. So it's sad. It's sad to me that we've got to that point in fishing. That just, you know, there's no crying in baseball, and to me, there's no cheating in fishing. And I think 99.9% of us outdoorsmen, fishermen, feel that way. But I guess there's one in every crowd. But they got in serious trouble, and I wanted to just share that with you because, you know, like Mama said, you're going to get caught doing wrong. It might be sooner, it might be later, but you're going to get caught. So there it is right there. Okay, now, let's go to some good pictures. It's almost humorous. When I first heard about it, I said, you got to be kidding. It's almost humorous, but not really. Well, I was at Blue Water the other day over the weekend. They do still have, is this cool or what? They still got a couple of my books left down there. And I just want to take a picture. We've got Christmas coming up right around the corner. So they've still got some. We still have some at Blue Water. And at C&G, I think still has some. I believe Brad may have a couple left. But anyway, just want to share that with you. Dan Wells up there in the southern part of Indiana. How many people still a squirrel hunt with a dog? A quick morning hunt. This is before work. Got 2 squirrels, and that's a true outdoorsman from all the way from Teologia up there to back home. My buddy Bob Infinger posted this, hunting season right around the corner, and there it is, fancied up hyenas, and it made me tickle. I had to go back and find my picture from last year. A couple years ago in Toolbox. I was up in the woods at the property. I was actually cutting firewood that morning, which we still need to do some more. But that's the situation there. That I love. And then everybody's talking about that now. In fact, the Blue Water Outriggers at the counter, when you check out at the counter, they have exactly that right there. Okay, now listen, we've got from the FWC, their applications, you know, started a couple of days ago, 15th for limited recreational harvest. You can get a permit to do it, and it's open the 15th. My buddy David Gilmore sent this to me. Hey, Coach, we are filling up the feeders Saturday and used a tractor to haul the corn around. Ted Jones found out the redneck chariot was better than walking. Thought you might get a laugh out of it. With God, all things are possible, Matthew 19:26. But that's how you adapt to the situation. If you get tired of walking around, I never thought about it. Just sit on the bush hog there. That's cool. Thank you, David. Good to hear from you. A couple more real quick. Matt Spencer had a pretty good trip. Landed about 20 of those. Matt's a good fisherman. Okay, I've showed this. Let me get back. I got one more really heartwarming one. This one right here, this next picture, the next picture right here. Okay, we've had Elizabeth on before, Elizabeth Wingrove Murphy. She posted this on Facebook. All I could think about is how proud Coach Winston Chester will be. I made it in the Florida Sportsman magazine, all the way from Weewall. Here's Elizabeth, and there's a picture right there. And what does it say? Fish creeks on the falling tide. Hello, you think they've been watching Panhandle Outdoors about fishing the creeks? But Elizabeth, we got to get her to come on the show. She was just a unique young lady, and I just got tickled at her. She has a British accent, okay? Her mom is from Great Britain. And when I got her in class, Wendy had her in 8th grade at Bay Haven. So I got her, Wendy told me about her, and what a delightful young lady she was, and she absolutely loved the outdoors. And so with that British accent, talking about fishing in Weewall, it's just, I mean, it was just awesome. So we're going to get her to come on the show. I think she's working at Weewall Elementary, working on an education there, trying to get her teaching degree, I believe. But what a delightful young lady. So I'm very proud of you, Elizabeth, for making Florida Sportsman magazine and sharing that with us. So got to wrap it up. I got some other stuff I didn't get around to, but tomorrow, a country cousin coming down from Jackson County, Billy Grantham, will be our guest. So we're looking forward to seeing Billy and seeing what's going on up in that neck of the woods. I'll wrap it up for today. Thank you all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. We appreciate your viewership. You do something good for someone else today, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.